I'm back. The pain didn't kill me. The disappointment didn't kill me. And if you're listening today, maybe, just maybe, you've been through your own season of pain. Maybe you've been carrying disappointment yourself, unanswered prayers, or you've just encountered more closed doors than open ones. But I want you to know something before we go any further. Purpose is still possible. I believe that with everything inside of me, and by the end of this episode, I want you to believe it too. Welcome to the Mission Driven Podcast, the show designed to empower, educate, and encourage you to stay focused and committed to your mission. I'm your host, Dr. AC Cristales. Let's get ready to grow. Welcome to Mission Driven with Dr. AC Cristales. It's great to be back podcasting. Now, before I get started with what I want to share, let me just say, this podcast isn't just for educators. I know that's my background and that's what I've worked in for the past 25 years. But this podcast is for the person who is seeking purpose. This podcast is for the person who wants to rediscover their mission. This podcast is for the person who knows there's more to life, but just hasn't fully stepped into it yet. So if that's you, this one is for you. Because here's what I believe. Once you know you have a purpose, once you know you have a mission, you attack life differently. You're driven by the knowledge that there's someone dependent on you. You're driven because deep down you know there's something worth building. And that mission that you carry begins to drive every decision that you make. And so that's why this podcast, if that's you, if that resonates with you, that's who this podcast is for. Now, I'm calling this series Brick by Brick because that's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm building something again, building something new, one brick at a time. And I want to build it with you because I have a feeling you're laying some bricks of your own right now. See, I'm in a different season of my life, coming out of everything that happened 4 years ago in 2022, and now finding myself in my mid-40s. And trust me, this isn't some sort of midlife crisis. It's something much deeper. And maybe it's something you're wrestling with, something you're asking yourself too. At this point in my life, what am I supposed to be chasing? Now, people have always told me, you've accomplished a lot, AC. At your age, man, you've done a lot. And professionally, yeah, I've accomplished a lot. And I'm grateful for every opportunity. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not grateful. But if I'm being honest, I've always felt like there was more. And maybe you felt that way too. Like you're doing well by everyone else's scoreboard, but something still feels unfinished. You know, I even have a friend who would always tell me, AC, you're always chasing. It's all about the chase with you. And in a sense, she was right. I'm always chasing. But here's what I've learned. And I want you to hear this before I even say anything else and tell you my story. It's not the chasing that's the problem. It's chasing the wrong things. So as I walk you through what happened to me, I want you to be asking yourself that same question that I had to ask myself. What are you chasing right now? What is it that you're chasing? And is what you're chasing actually yours? Is it your dreams? Is it your goals? Is it? Now, the last time I released an episode of Mission Driven was August 23rd of 2023. And I entitled that episode, The Man in the Arena. I was fired up after that episode too because I had just lived through one of the hardest and most hellacious years of my life, 2022. And I wanted to tell that story. Yeah, 2022 was heavy. Personally, I thought I was finally building something beautiful with the person I was going to marry, but I didn't. Professionally, I was building something that didn't survive the way I hoped it would. And trust me, there's a lot more to the entire story of 2022. But in the middle of that, I was still working on completing my doctorate. And in December of 2022, I walked across that stage, was hooded, and officially became Dr. Cristales. And it was a beautiful moment because my daughter was there. Mom was there. And one of my teachers who believed in me, even when I was a little punk, a little troublemaker, she was there too. That moment showed me something that I want you to hold on to. Even in the most challenging times, there can still be beautiful moments. Definitely, for sure. I want you to really get that, because I want you to know that they're not canceled out by the pain. Beautiful moments aren't canceled out by the pain. Beautiful moments exist right alongside the challenges. And that's part of what I shared in that August 2023 episode. That's why I was so excited to get back to podcasting consistently. But I didn't. I stopped. I went silent. And it wasn't because I ran out of stories. It was just because life got full. My plate got full. And guys, come on, life moves fast. And maybe that's you right now too. Maybe you didn't quit on your purpose. You just got buried under your plate. If that's you, I need you to hear this next part. Now, I went back into the role of being a school leader in July of 2023. And my thought process was this. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to chase the next title. Principal, director, maybe even superintendent. And the reason for that was because someone I respected within the district told me that she saw me in that position. And I believed her. Knew she was being genuine. So I chased it. And after 3 years of chasing, that chase drained me. Mentally, emotionally, it drained me. You see, assistant principal life isn't light work. You're leading, you're coaching, you're disciplining. You take the work seriously, and rightfully so, because when you want to do it right, your mission should be to impact the lives of students, teachers, and parents. That's what I wanted to do, be impactful. So life got busy. And I accepted the challenge because, again, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a great job. I wanted to be an effective leader. I wanted to help people. I wanted to inspire people. And I wanted to do good by that person who opened the door for me. I was grateful for that. But somewhere along the way, the joy just started to fade. I was in an environment that didn't see me for who I really was. There were people who said they believed in me who truly weren't honest about that. And maybe you know exactly what that feels like. Giving everything to a room that isn't giving anything back. And that's how I felt. Drained. Now, the joy wasn't gone because I stopped loving people either. Never that. It's just that I allowed that environment to slowly suck the joy out of everything I gave to others. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. I allowed it. That's on me. And so my projects went silent. The podcast went silent. 3 years, just like that. But here's what I've learned about the silence. And I want this to be the thing you carry out of this episode more than anything else I'll say today. That silence is never wasted. I used to feel guilty about the silence because I'm a worker, I'm a go-getter, I'm a doer, man. I am a doer. And maybe you are too. And maybe that's exactly why your own silent seasons have felt like failure instead of what they actually were. Because here's what I've come to understand, and I want to walk you through it piece by piece so you can hold it up against your own life. The silence wasn't punishment. The silence was necessary. And what I'm about to share with regard to the silence being necessary has everything to do with my faith. See, even when I couldn't see God moving, He was moving. Even when I kept asking God, where are you? I'm trusting you, but I don't know what you're doing. I don't. What are you doing, God? I don't know what you're doing. He was moving. God, I need a fresh start. I need a new opportunity. I'm not growing where I'm at. I'm submitting application after application and still nothing but silence. Yet, it was necessary. If you're in that season right now, the unacknowledged applications, the unanswered prayers, the silence that feels like rejection, I need you to hear me. You don't need to know what he's doing. You just need to trust that he's doing something. Even in the quiet, even in the stillness, even in the waiting. Yeah, every application denied, every no, every unanswered email, every phone call that never came, it was necessary. All of it. The silence was also protection. And here's an honest question I had to ask myself too. If I had known how things were going to play out, would I have tried to speed up the process and mess it up? Probably. And maybe that's a question worth asking yourself too, because forcing things hardly ever works out. Forcing things too early can lead to this need to try and control every detail. But the truth is we can't control everything. There are things that happen to us that we will never be able to control, period. We can and we do try, but again, it doesn't always work out in our favor. So, God, or should I say, but God, right? God knew better than me. He always does. Even though my impatience wanted things to happen fast, the silence kept me from moving too soon. So let me ask you, what if the delay you're frustrated by right now isn't God ignoring you? What if it's God protecting you from something you can't see yet? Yeah. The silence was growth. Yes, it's part of my growth process. Even in a toxic environment, especially in a toxic environment where I allowed myself to be drained. Again, I own that. I allowed myself to be drained. It wasn't the environment, though, that grew me. It was the silence. It was the doors that didn't open. It was things not working out the way I wanted them to. That's what grew me in ways that comfort never could have. I just couldn't see it then. And if you're in a season that feels more like your life is just being wasted away and it doesn't feel like you're growing, I want you to know that growth is possible in the silence. And here's a question I want you to ponder. How will you grow whenever you get a no? The silence wasn't punishment for me. It was growth. The silence was also revelation. When I finally got out of an environment that wasn't healthy for me, it was my Shawshank Redemption moment, getting to see Guatanejo. But when I got out, and when the vice provost at Dallas College chose me and told me she wanted me, I felt peace. I felt joy. I felt gratitude. But afterward, I also felt convicted because I thought, why didn't I have that faith? That faith that believes even though I can't see it. That faith that says it's already done even though it isn't. That's the faith I didn't have. I didn't have that during the silence. And I wish I did. I wish I did have that type of faith before the door sprang wide open. I would have been more at peace. I would have been less grumpy. So the silence reveals something I still need to work on. And maybe that's true for you too. And if it is, you're in good company. I'm working through it right alongside you. Most importantly though, and this one probably hits me the hardest, the silence being a revelation revealed what I was actually chasing. A title, a position, principal, superintendent one day. Things I was pursuing, perhaps not because I truly wanted them, but because someone said I should want them. Or because I wanted to prove something to myself, to others, and maybe even to people who honestly didn't even care. In the silence, with no callbacks, limited opportunities, closed doors, and people who once said they believed in me going completely quiet, I had to ask myself, is this really what I want? I want you to ask yourself that same question right now too, about whatever it is you've been chasing. Is it really what you want? Or is it what someone told you to want? When I was finally honest enough to hear my own answer, it was no. See, what I wanted and what I want is impact. What I want is to walk in the gifts and the calling God placed in me before I was even born. I want to encourage. I want to inspire. I want to help people rediscover what they already have inside of them. And maybe I was chasing the title because what I really wanted was validation, was to feel wanted and acknowledged. And I wonder if that's true for you too. You know, when I look back now, even the moments I didn't understand then make sense. The doors that closed, the opportunities I didn't get, the disappointments, the waiting. Truth is, God was just building something in me before he built something through me. And he's doing the same thing in you, whether you can feel it or not. Silence, it revealed that some things I was chasing weren't meant for me. That success without alignment would drain you. That purpose requires clarity. The silence didn't break me. It simply revealed what was inside of me. And I believe the silence you experience can do the exact same thing for you. Now, let me show you what that looked like in real life. Because this is the moment that made everything click for me. And I think it might do the same for you. One of the clearest moments I've had in 2026 happened after my daughter Isabella's last playoff game in April. They lost 3-1, but it was a good game. But as I watched her finish her varsity soccer season, I thought about how I was able to be at every single game of hers. Tuesday nights, Friday nights, cold nights, rainy nights, exhausted nights, in Wiley, in Waco, Garland. It didn't matter. I was there. And so I even thought about how in March of 2026, I intentionally planned a short trip to Cartagena because I was not missing her first playoff game, not for anything. And so what's crazy is that last May of 2025, there was a high school associate principal position. I applied for it, interviewed for it, and I was told it was mine. But days before the appointment, I didn't get it. And I was hurt. I was confused. I remember calling my brother and I was telling him, like, man, I'm trusting God, man. I just don't understand what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I couldn't understand why another door was closing. The truth is, though, that position was going to require nights, weekends, events. That high school soccer team, their season, all the things that would have pulled me away from Isabella's season. But there I was, a year later, in April, standing in the bleachers, watching her play, cheering her on, present for every single game. And that's when it hit me. This is why the job fell through. This is why. Yeah, the rejection hurt. The silence hurt. But the purpose was greater than the pain of that closed door. It also reminded me of something that I've told thousands of parents and educators. Your kids don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present. And I was fortunate enough to be present. What it comes down to it is, I think God was showing me something I couldn't see at the time. That my constant presence in Isabella's life was and is the point. And that is everything. So here's what I want to leave you with. Not my conclusion, rather a question for you to sit with. Who are you right now as you're listening to this? Maybe you're the person who's been wondering, can something good actually come out of what I've been through? Can something purposeful come out of this pain? It can. I'm living proof. And I promise you, you will be too. Maybe you've been in your own silence. Unanswered prayers, more closed doors than open ones. People who said they believed in you, who went completely quiet when you needed them the most. Ghosted. Maybe you're there. I've been there. I know the feeling. Maybe you've been chasing something someone else told you to chase, and deep down, you know it's not what you want. I've been there too. Yeah. So before we close today, I want to leave you with one question, and don't rush past it. I want you to sit with it the same way I had to. What has your silence been trying to tell you? Not punish you, not shame you, not define you. Tell you. Because I believe with everything in me that your pain has a purpose. And I believe you're building something too. Maybe you just haven't noticed it yet. This season, we're going to build. We're going to build that truth together, brick by brick. Every episode, I'm going to hand you another piece of what I've learned, and I want you to bring your own story to it too. Because what I went through was never just about me. That about wraps up another episode of Mission Driven with Dr. A.C. Cristales. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly, truly appreciate it. You press play. I don't take that lightly, so thank you so much for that. Again, this is a new series of Mission Driven titled Brick by Brick. In every single episode, we're going to lay another brick together. Yours and mine, side by side. And we're just getting started. Episode 2 is coming. Again, I'm Dr. A.C. Cristales. This is Mission Driven. And until next time, faith, hope, love.